In today's episode, we're sculpting this, which means we're carving this into this. We'll show you how we do it. We'll work some mad detailing magic, recap our sculpture, and dazzle you with cinematics. Looking for top 5 entertainment in under 35 minutes? Then stick around. Hey, good morning, good day, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, City Sculptor, and you have made your way back to Pengasas Bay. It's great to have you here. Thanks for joining us today. We're looking in on the Crystal Point area of town, and this is going to be the subject for today's build. Now, if you recall in our last episode, we built out the Pengasas Bay Yacht Club area down over here, and there are thousands of new residents all in this new area, all looking for jobs. So we're going to provide jobs for them today, and we're going to do that in this space right here. Now, I'm taking inspiration from the saltwater evaporation and harvesting ponds in Newark, California, down in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's a really interesting build, and it caught my eye, and I want to try and replicate something like that down in this space here. We're going to build out some salt harvesting kind of basins in this area here, and probably form up a nice little grid pattern like you saw in Newark, California, and put people to work down there harvesting salt. You got to have salt for your food and on your table here in Pengasas Bay. And then we're going to come into this space over here, and we need to put in a lot of industry. We need to have a whole variety of different industries in there because, we want to make sure that we have lots of goods and services that are making their way all throughout the Pengasas Bay area. And this seems like a really good spot to do that. And then you can see down here, this little area marked off, and you probably remember from previous episodes, if I mark something off, that means keep out, because there's a natural resource in there, and this time it's oil. Oil is right in this area here, so we're going to take advantage of that as part of our build. And then down in this area here, we've got our rail line running through here, so let's put in a rail yard. It's time for us to put in a rail yard because we've got use for one. We need one because we've got a station down in Gateway Village that works with passengers, and then we've got one down in Roughneck Isle. That is a cargo terminal. That's a lot we've got to tackle today. And just as a reminder, we are a new channel. So if you see something that you like today, leave us a comment. Make sure to chip away at that like button and hammer that subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest here in Pengasas Bay and the Grand Manilica series in general. We've got almost 1,200 subscribers now. Let's see if we can push that number to 1,500. All right, with all that as a backdrop, let's do this. Okay, let's dive right on in, shall we? We've got a lot of work to do here just to prep the land. You can see I've already dropped in a road behind us, and I'm also going to just clear out all the trees because really, when it's all said and done, this is not going to be a tree-friendly build today. We might have some scrub brushes in here and so forth, but probably not a lot of forestry going on in this space. And we've got to now come back in and level off that terrain. So let's grab our level terrain tool. I'm going to pick a spot that's probably, let's make it about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7 meters above sea level, and just kind of go through and level this all out. And the reason I'm doing that is because when you think about the concept of a salt evaporation ponds, it's got to be a big flat space, because a big flat space is going to allow you to flood the area, let the water sit, and then let nature do its magic and just go ahead and evaporate the water out, and you're left with the salt that you can feel free to harvest. All right, that's probably a good start anyways. Now we'll come in here, and the first thing I want to build in this space is going to be a saltwater retention pond. It's just really for decorative purposes, and we'll grab let's grab a sidewalk here, pavement path. We're going to go up, let's see here. I think, 2.5 meters gets you to activating the little railings. Let's see, I just want to orient this in the right way. So if I activate this and go out 200 meters, yeah, nice and close to the water. And then I'll come up 80 and then come back 200 and back down 80. Okay, so now I've got a nice rectangle from which we can work. And then I want to go out, let's say about 40. And I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to go up 16. Going to go over 16. Come back 16. Let's see here. Let's come back in here, bulldoze that. At least I've got that first one. And I want to flatten this out, decrease our brush size, get the strength back up, just so that we have a nice, well-defined area. Then I can come back in with my sidewalk, come out 16, come out 16. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. I think I came out 40. And now I can come back in and I can cut this, this, and this away, as well as this and this. And it leaves us with a nice rectangular box with a couple of little channel inlets. Not bad. Here's where the magic happens. You come in and I'm going to decrease my brush size all the way down to 20 for this part. And I'm going to go down about 4 meters or so, 5 meters below sea level. That was aggressive. Strong brush size. Let's take that back just a little bit. All right. So now we're going to come in here. I'm going to hollow this out a little bit. There. Okay. We'll let that fill in. That's going to take a little while. And while that's doing its magic, let's come back over here. We're going to grab a gravel road now. And we're going to step up here. I think it's 5 meters. Yeah, that's where the bridge mechanic starts to work. And then we're going to come out, let's go out 88 meters. And then I want to come up here maybe close to 400 meters if I can. Oh, before I do that, though, I have to figure out what the height of this is down here. So let's take this. And we're going to push the land up there until we get it to it's about even with the surface of the road. That's pretty close. Yeah, I think right in there is probably good. And then I'm going to come up here. As I was starting to say, we're going to grab this road and we're going to come up 400 meters. Let's go from here to there. There. And that's fine. That's just going to kind of set the mark for us right now. And then we'll just run that right straight across there for now. Hang with me. I'm not totally crazy. All right, so this is what we do now. We come in here and we level that off, and then we're going to bring that gravel road all the way up, the 420 meters or whatever it was that we have. 400 meters? Yeah, let's go up 400 meters just to keep it round numbers. And then I'm going to take this back down to ground level. And when I do that, creates a nice little retaining wall in there, right? So it's like a little holding pen. And then I'll come out, I think we came out 88 meters or so. Yeah, we did. There it is. And then I'll come back from this side and grab that road, come back down to ground level there. And we've got this big holding area. And now I can come in and terraform that a little bit, clean that up. Yeah. Go to our specialized industry, grab stone mining. Oh, it's just weird. There. Okay. Okay, so that's complete. And the idea there is it's the first of many of these evaporation ponds. So the idea would be salt water would get pumped into the evaporation pond. The water would evaporate out, leaving this salt residue behind to be harvested to make table salt. All right, let's continue building some of those out. So now we've got 3 of those in place, and it's kind of starting to look pretty cool. Now I'm going to introduce a new texture back here. So I think if I come in and level off this back here, I can take this gravel road. I can bring this one out. Let's bring it back down to ground level. Bring this one out. Yeah, 24 meters. Sure, that's fine. And then we're just going to do the same coming back over here. And I've got another space back on here that I can work on. You see these gravel roads tucked in back here. And if you remember from episode 4, those are the keep out because we've got a natural resource back there. That is our oil reserves back there. And we're going to continue this pattern using the oil assets back here. we're in the oil business. I'm starting to make this pattern now where these are all lining up. It's a nice squared off geometric pattern that's going to create kind of an interesting look and feel and vibe in this space. It will be very different than anything that we've got in the rest of the community. Yeah, I think we're going to want to connect in somewhere right around in here somewhere, just because I think our resources come right up. Yeah, they kind of run out right there. So this is probably going to be the spot where we're going to want to, reconnect to this larger road. We're going to flatten this out, bring our brush size up quite a bit, flatten out a big chunk of land, because we can always come back in here and change it. Okay, so we're going to go from here to the center of that one, bend that in, and then I can come in with a straight line and go right to the middle of that road. And there you go. Now this line is in alignment with this line here. And I think that'll make it for a better look, because I'm going to put in some funky space here, but I got to take this pattern and angle it over here for now. And we're going to start working the land again. So hang on for more terraforming. The right amount of terraforming, just about anything can be done. All right, let's see here. So if I build a recycling or landfill in here, I know I've got to get it into about there. So let's bring a new paved road down from here down to about there. And then I can probably just run that out this way. And I don't know. I wonder if a transformer would fit in here. It does. It just fits. Oh, beautiful. So then I can come in here underground, page down, and connect you back to our main power line way back over here. Cool. Now we're going to have power in this area, which is nice. And then let's see here. Does our little landfill guy work in this space? Yeah, we're in business. Look at that. So this is the area I want to tackle next. This is going to be a little industrial build down here, because we need jobs. So you can see we've got quite a bit of demand yet for all of our different segments. We need office, we need industrial, and we need commercial. So let's come in here and do some terraforming to start. And I want to have this shoreline running pretty parallel to that. So what I'll do is my little gravel road trick. I'll come out here. All right, I like that. And that should be parallel to this road up here. If I come out here like this, yeah, then I will be able to have buildings that are back to back and don't occupy any additional space. I can run this out a little further. We're good. We'll have buildings back to back in that space, and then we'll come in here and do the same thing over here. Let's center that up. Let's do that. We'll have the ability to put in 4 deep buildings on either side of the road there. All right, let's start with a commercial building on the corner, so I can go 3 by 4 there. Now I can come in with industry, office there. Okay, and then we'll come in with industry. And you can see these things are spawning as soon as I can put them down, because we've got such pent-up demand for everything. Yeah, okay. So we'll continue doing that as well. We got a lot of, just a lot of business to put in here. And we'll go with these commercials right on the edges here. I like that. So you can see this is going to be a lot of painting. All right. That's going to take shape. I like that. Let's come down here for starters. And the asset I was looking to use is actually the road maintenance building. I think it's kind of a cool building here. And it might look really good right next to this water retention pond. Looks pretty good. All right. So then we're going to grab that alley. And we're just going to come right off of here. Put that back into play. There. Okay. So we've got that building set up there, kind of nicely overlooking the water retention pond, and that's going to look really kind of cool. It's almost going to look like it's the headquarters of this whole area. Oh, it looks like we've got a terrible accident on the freeway over here. Holy mackerel! We got a police car, and oh wow, this is a disaster. I hope they can clear that up. Okay, so the next piece I'm going to put in is, and really it's going to be our final piece of the day that we'll do, is our rail yard. We need to have our rail yard because if you might recall, we put in a couple of rail stations. One was a cargo rail terminal way down here in Roughneck Isle. And then we also had a passenger rail station that is connected up to our Gateway Village over here. So we need to get trains operating. And I thought this would be a great little spot for it, tucked in here, down behind the oil industry along the freeway. So let's first of all pause the game. We need to do that because we're gonna disconnect some rail lines here, and really kind of be disruptive in this space for just a little bit. We're going to then come back in and level things off. So let's grab, that's fine. That's probably a good sized brush. We just want to pull things out just a little bit more. Maybe create an obvious plateau here, a ridge, if you will, for that rail line. Because I want to make sure that I have as soft or smooth of grades as possible for those rail lines approaching the rail yard. And I think we'll probably end up putting in some bridging that comes across over here as well. So let's see here. Let's grab that rail yard, and let's see. Yeah, we're going to want to orient it something like that. Now, connecting this rail yard back to the original line, that's going to be kind of the bugger here. I think this is our main line. So I think that's going to have to be our primary point of contact from our original line here. And I like this line as it starts to come in a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to try and curve that line so it then starts to make its way back towards our center line. And in fact, again, I keep fiddling with this location here. I think it might even need to come out a little closer to that freeway. I don't want to get it so close, though, that I can't expand it. Okay, I think we're still safe there. So let's bend that line in there and have that try and come right straight into our main line, our through line, as it were. There. So now as you're riding in on the rail, you get this nice gentle curve that feeds you right through the through line of our main rail yard. And now we can start the work of connecting all of our auxiliary lines into that main line. We're going to grab each one individually, and it looks like there's single lines there. So let's take advantage of that. I've not used a single train track before. So I want to run this out as far as I can, and I think the intent here would be to try and connect these in as close to that water line so we're only having one bridge. And this is out, 200 meters? Let's bring that out an additional, I'll call it close to 200 meters. This should create a nice gentle curve coming in. I like that. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Now it jumps over this little chasm here and hits this flat area again. So I feel like that's pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. I mean, we've got a slight little dip here. Don't love that, but I can always come back and tidy that up. All right. Now I think we've got all of our lines that are attached into that rail yard. And I tried to make them as long and graceful as possible so they didn't look too abrupt. I think that's not bad. And we'll come back in here and put road service in here when we do our, when we do our oil field back here. I'll probably maybe even drop in some industry buildings, kind of a line down here along the shore, and maybe even in here now that we've got the rail lines in here and we know where we're running towards. So That's not bad. I like it. All right, with that big rail yard and all those rail lines in place, this feels like a really good spot for us to jump in and do a detailing time lapse. We've got a lot of work yet to do here. We're going to be peeling away this outer area here to expose our quay walls. We're going to jump in here and expand our salt harvesting operations in this space here. We're going to press our oil industry across the road here, all the while trying to respect the grids that we've already established. We'll come in here and maybe tidy up this industry area, and in fact, we might even expand it into this space over here so that it's up adjacent to our rail yard. We need to create access to our rail yard. And then we also, I don't know, maybe we'll do something with this space back here, maybe not. Maybe we'll just reserve that for future development, but we'll keep our eye on it, that's for sure. All right, let's plan on meeting back up here after the time lapse where we can recap our sculpture and kind of go through all of the details. All right, well, why don't you sit back and relax, enjoy the time lapse, and we'll catch you afterwards. Welcome back from the time lapse, and I give you Crystal Pointe. As you recall, Crystal Pointe was our big industry build in this space, and I thought it turned out really cool. Let's just jump right on in. We had this little saltwater retention pond that we created to start things off. And that pond serves two purposes. One, it's beautiful. And two, it allows us to have access to salt water, which we then can flood out these evaporation basins. Now, these evaporation basins, as you recall, we flood with seawater, let the water evaporate, and then come back in and harvest the salt so that we have salt for our residents of Pengasas Bay. And then tucked in behind that, you can see in the same grid pattern, we put our oil industry. We had to take advantage of that natural resource, which is oil back in here. We tried to respect that grid. And we also came up with a secondary grid here, which really serves the purpose of functioning just like the first one, which is saltwater retention pond, salt evaporators and harvesting, and then oil coming in right behind it. So we wanted to make a nice, pair of grids, and then nestled in between the two was our landfill. It was a funky kind of geometric shape, so I thought, well, let's make use of it with something that's it doesn't have to be nice and neat and clean, and landfills are not that. All right. Right behind it, though, I've got Octopus Park. And I called it Octopus Park because we got this octopus eye here, and then the top that runs up, and these little tentacles that are running down here beneath it. And it's just kind of a nod to the nautical roots of Pengasas Bay, Octopus Park. All right, sliding down along the shore, we've got our industrial area, and I thought this turned out just great. We needed a lot of density in this space, and we achieved that. There's a wide variety of different buildings in here, and I would imagine you have furniture shops and clothing and textiles and food and all sorts of different businesses that are located down in here, all providing great jobs to the new residents of Pengasas Bay. And then we put in our Railyard back in here, which I thought turned out just great. Our Railyard became a necessity because we've got a passenger station way down in Gateway Village, and then we've got our cargo line over our cargo station down in Roughneck Isle. So now we can start spawning trains out of our Railyard here, and with tracks running both to the east and off to the west, we've set ourselves up in a position where we can service the entire Pengasas Bay area for years to come. All right, then down here we've got our special industry building here. It's called Ground Earth, if I remember correctly. And what that does is it gives a nice little benefit to our industry, performance here in the city, and also increases the amount of ore that's available in the city. So I thought that was a nice little addition, especially down along this rail line. And then tucked into this corner here, our final little showcase piece was our communications tower with a little communications symbol out front in decorative bushes. And then we've got our fire helicopter depot right back here. And I really like the location of this because, first of all, they're noisy. So you want to put them in an industry area where it's away from residents. And two, it's right along this riverfront here. So they can immediately lift off, fill their firefighting buckets with water, and then rush off to put the fire out. Okay, well, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. This sure was a lot of fun to me, and it certainly turned out to be something unique and different than anything that we've seen before. So just as a reminder, we are a new channel, and so if you saw something that you liked today, make sure to leave us a comment below. I really do appreciate it. And chip away at that like button and hammer that subscribe button. We're just at about 1,200 subscribers. Let's see if we can push that number up to 1,500 and beyond. All right. Well, I'm going to bid you a fond farewell for now. So until next time, good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.